Hey Tito, how you doing, man? I'm just trying to get Brian with us on the stream. We're trying to ask him technical difficulties. Um, I don't know what's going on, but I've sent him the link. Oh, now your device is not connect. Brian. Here we go. They will need to, it says, what does it say? They will need to connect their microphone cam before you can add them to the stream. Okay. So you've got to connect your microphone and camera, Brian. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, so just to let you know, Tito, on this one right here, I went ahead and sent the live stream. I went here. Let me show you what I did. I went here and I changed this to let me see, customization, and I put it only for subscribers. So they have to be actually. You know what, let me change that. Let me do it. Let's see, custom. So you can change the. Hey, buddy. All right, Brian, are you there? Can you hear me now?
I'm here. I still can't hear you. I could hear you in the app, but in the app, it wouldn't let me turn the camera and mic on.
Oh, in yours?
Right.
That's weird. I don't know.
And here, I don't know what's going on with the volume.
Yeah, I'm just showing some people in the chat how I'm adjusting the live stream to make it for only subscribers only that can chat, and then I can change the amount of days, so I can make sure that they have been subscribed for 30 days to be able to participate in the chat.
I'm gonna try some earbuds, see if that helps.
Yeah, I think the earbuds might work. I got to get another microphone because this microphone that I'm using, it's a really good one. It's a Blue Yeti microphone, but unfortunately, there's no there's no head jack outlet that I can't. So I can't hear. I can only hear myself from the speakers, right here. Actually, you know what? I should probably get some heads. I have a headset.
I can hear you better now.
You can hear me better now?
Yeah.
Recording, having to order voiceovers. How cool would it?
Oh wow! Is that my voice? Yeah. Hey Nancy, how you doing?
Good.
All right, guys. Well, we got Brian finally on the stream. Awesome. Excellent, Brian. Good to see you, man. Now, Brian, you are in Medellin, right?
I am.
That's awesome. And how long have you been in Medellin?
I think about 5 weeks this time.
Has it been that long? Wow, time flies. I can remember when you were just about ready to leave and you were like, I'm on my way.
Yeah. It goes by fast.
You told me about that ordeal that you had over in Dallas. The plane didn't leave for like, what, an hour or so? Or
Yeah, we sit on the tarmac for over an hour.
That was probably very uncomfortable, huh?
It wasn't so bad. I was just, if I would have had a connecting flight, I would have missed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then by the time I got to the room, it was real late that night, but it was okay.
Okay, so basically what you did is you flew from Dallas to Fort Lauderdale or Miami?
Miami, yeah. And I stayed, there's a hotel in the Miami airport, and it's really convenient because to fly direct from where I live, you're only getting to Medellin at 10 p.m. at night. Then by the time you get your luggage, you get to your room, it's going to be midnight. Right. So I usually just spend the night in Miami and then come the next morning. That way I can be here before it's dark.
Okay. Yeah, I think arriving in any country when it's really dark out is kind of an inconvenience because then especially if you don't have if you don't know where the hotel's at exactly, but I guess you had already made reservations and everything, right? So you were.
Yeah, when I first got here, I stayed in a place that I stayed last year, and I stayed there for 1 week. Which is kind of what I normally do. Like last year, I got a hotel for the first week while I looked for an Airbnb. And so this year I stayed in the Airbnb for the first week, and then I moved to this apartment building
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I'm just gonna type here. Feel free to ask Brian any questions about Medellin. About Medellin. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's awesome because I've never been to Medellin yet, and this is your second time.
Yeah, it is.
So you're like a world class traveler.
I
Beyond
try
Brian,
to.
beyond Brian, there is travel, right? Yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't been doing YouTube so long, but I've been to over 30 countries now.
really, 30? Oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so let me see. How many countries have you been over in Asia? Just out of curiosity.
In Asia, I've been to Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam,
Yeah.
and Kuala Lumpur, Indonesia.
Indonesia? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And out of
No,
those,
Malaysia. Which Kuala Lumpur? What is that? That's
oh,
Malaysia, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which countries did you like the best? I think you're probably going to say Vietnam, right?
Yeah. Vietnam. That's my favorite. Now the ocean's prettier in Thailand,
Yeah.
but I just like it's very. I like Vietnam better.
Really? Wow. I've never been to Vietnam, but of course, we have a pretty big Vietnamese community here in LA, mostly in Orange County. Um, and I don't know if you're. Do you know Robert McInasia? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. His wife is from Vietnam, and I don't know what part of Vietnam she is. I think she might be from the capital city, but yeah, he loves Vietnam. He can't wait to go back. But I guess it's kind of discouraging with the 2 week quarantine that they have. And
Right now, you can't go to Vietnam at all. Maybe he could because his wife is Vietnamese, but there is no tourism in Vietnam right now.
so they've closed the country for tourism. Wow.
Not only have they closed it, they're kicking out all the expats. They're not renewing. Up to this point, they had been renewing visas. If you were stuck there, you could stay.
Yeah,
But now they're making everybody leave.
that's crazy. Wow.
And I heard last night that they were talking about reopening in October, but that can change every week like it does everywhere else.
Yeah, especially with the new Delta variant that's coming across around the world. Yeah, I mean, things are. I think international travel has really changed a lot in the
Yeah.
last couple of years. Yeah.
There's a new variant here too. It started here actually.
Oh, did it really?
But the
I
cases are down. They're way down here.
because I noticed in your videos that a lot of people aren't really wearing masks too much anymore.
No, the only place it's enforced is on the metro,
Hmm.
and like when I went to the flower festival in the stadium, they enforced it to go into the stadium.
Yeah.
I wear one when I go in the grocery store because they look at you funny if you don't. But
Oh,
they've
really?
never told me to put one on. You
You just
know?
want to do as in Rome, do what the Romans do, huh?
Right. It doesn't bother me
Yeah.
to wear a mask except for when I'm vlogging because it muffles the sound.
Yeah, that's the only thing about wearing a mask is it's kind of hard to hear. I noticed that on my videos when I was in Mexico. That's why I didn't wear a mask sometimes, and I kind of felt weird because I felt like here I am visiting their country, and they know I'm a tourist, but I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm walking around without my mask on. But it's kind of weird how people were wearing their mask outside, and it's like you think that outside it would not be as dangerous because of the open air,
Right.
but yeah, everyone's pretty uniform in Mexico. They pretty much all of them. I only saw a few people not wear their mask, but they for the most part, I mean, they you have to sanitize your hands and they have to wipe your feet off before you go in. Speaking of Robert McInasia, here he is. He's in the chat with us. Hey, Robert.
Oh, hey, Robert. How you doing?
Yeah, he
Hi,
came back from
Tito.
Missouri. Yeah, Tito Danino's in. Yeah, Tito wants to go. We're hoping to make a trip down to South America to go to Peru, and he wants to go to Brazil. I think he wants to go to Colombia too. I think you'll
Yeah.
probably be gone by then, though. Your plans are
I'll be here until late December.
until late December. Yeah,
Well, in this part of the world, probably. I mean, I'm going to go other place. I'm not going to stay in Medellin till then. But yeah,
yeah,
things have changed here. Like you mentioned, the hand sanitizer. Last year when I was here, they had the mats that you walk through. They would take your temperature at the door and often spray hand sanitizer, on your hands for you.
yeah.
And now there's no temperature checks anywhere. There's no mats to walk through anywhere.
Oh
And
wow.
there's only one restaurant I go to that sprays the hand sanitizer on your hands.
Really? Oh wow.
They all have it up front if you want it, but there's nobody there
Force you.
guiding you to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess it sounds like a lot of people have gotten their vaccination and the cases have gone down quite a bit. So
Yeah, I checked last night and there were like 1,200 new cases.
oh wow.
When just before I came here, it was in the 20-something thousand range. So
Really?
that's how much it's dropped just in the past 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh wow. That's good. That's awesome. Wow. So you don't feel worried about getting any type of variant? Then you seem like you're pretty. I know you're vaccinated too. So
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want it, but I'm not gonna stay at home. I can't do that.
no.
And besides, right now Texas is in much worse shape than Colombia.
Yeah, Texas and Florida, man. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on over there. There's like there's a lot of things going on in Texas. Yeah, but anyway, that's cool. So now you're actually studying Spanish too, right?
I just started. I've had 2 lessons so far, and I've got a lesson. I'm doing Saturdays and Sundays, 2 hours every Saturday, 2 hours every Sunday.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Now I want to put this question up. Robert Mack in Asia asked Brian, "Are you planning on going to Thailand?"
No, I think I'm going to wait on Vietnam.
Okay. See, Robert Mack, we were just talking about Brian's favorite country in Asia is Vietnam.
Now,
Yeah,
if Thailand dropped the quarantine, I would go probably,
really.
but I don't want to go over there in quarantine. I'll just wait.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of the bars and yeah, the restaurants are suffering big time in Thailand because of the tourism. That I don't know how do they. I don't know how they survive without the tourism because that's like one of the number one industries in Thailand, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's like yeah, it's really. I think it would be weird. I mean, if you've never been to Thailand and you don't want to deal with crowds, I think this would be a good time to go. But if you can just manage through the 2-week quarantine, but that way you don't have to worry about the crowd so much because it is pretty crowded in those places.
Yeah, that's one thing I do. I like Cambodia a lot too, and there are a lot of tourist sites in Cambodia, like Angkor Wat. And over the years, it had gotten so popular, it was just shoulder to shoulder with other people. And I've seen pictures of it now with no one, and so I would like to go back and see that maybe before travel starts booming again.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be cool. Robert Mack says he's got a 5-year passport book with exempt issued 2 months ago. Oh, wow. So he says he wants to go to Vietnam. It's Vietnam. It's cool. All right. Man, is your sister still over there, right?
Yeah, she's in Cambodia.
Oh, that's right. She's in Cambodia. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, wow.
She
must
did travel all over Asia for her job before the pandemic, but since the pandemic, she hasn't. She's just been in Cambodia.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. That's cool. So, if you've been in Medellin for 5 weeks, you pretty much made yourself like at home there. You're pretty comfortable there, huh?
Yeah.
You've got your daily routine down and everything.
I do. There's a coffee shop I like to go to. There's 5 or 6 restaurants I like to go to. When I'm filming a vlog, I always try to find something new to try.
Yeah.
But if I'm not filming, if I'm like, for instance, if I'm in my room making a video, I've got my go-to places here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think from when I don't know if I'm mistaken, but when I talked to you, it seemed like that since you've been in Medellin before and you've been there for this long, you pretty much know where to go and where not to go, right? Like the crazy areas, and
not so much because I just go. Like for instance, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, I was just exploring the metro, and they have the cable cars that go up the mountain. So I was like, well, I'll just go up the mountain and see this new area. I think it was called El Presidio or something, El Progreso. I don't remember, but so I get to the top, and people are telling me you need to put your phone up. Yeah, maybe I should have asked before I went.
That's what they told you?
Oh yeah. It looked a little sketchy, but you can't tell. It just, when I say sketchy, you don't know if it's sketchy or not. The neighborhood just wasn't as clean and as nice as some of the other areas in Medellin, but that doesn't mean anything. So I just was going through with my phone, and a nice lady came over to me and was like, you know, you need to put your phone away. They're going to steal it. And so I didn't put my phone away. I just left. You know? But all the trails here, that's something I haven't done. There are trails. There's up in that area is a Christ the Redeemer statue on the top of a mountain. There's another place called Three Crosses, and I would like to go to some of those places, but they tell you don't go alone. You might get robbed on the trail. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I think that's worse this year than it was last year, and it's because of COVID. The jobs haven't come back here. The country's open, but they still don't have a lot of jobs.
Yeah. And do you think that, touching on that, do you think that's the reason why there's a lot of crime? Do you think that could be the case of why there's so much crime going on?
You know, yeah, I think so. I wasn't here before the pandemic. You know, the
Yeah.
pandemic was already going on my first visit, but that's what the locals say. They say the crime got worse with the pandemic, people out of work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, did you ever have time to check out Traveling Eddie's channel? He's lived in Colombia for about 20 plus years. He's Colombian American. He grew up in New York and I think in North Carolina, but he was living in, I think, a town. What was the name of it? I want to say it's Antioquia. No, Antioquia is a state.
That's the state, yeah.
Yeah, so he was living in what, Ganarte or something like that. Guanarte, which is a little bit. It's like about an hour from Medellin. Um, and he was telling me, yeah, he knows Colombia very well because he's been there for like 20 plus years. And it was kind of funny because he was actually walking towards like those areas where, what is it, like parqueadas, when they have a lot of the prostitution.
Right.
Yeah, they call them freelancers, I guess, in Asia, right? But yeah, but anyway, he was saying that, yeah, it used to be different. It used to be back in the day when he was younger. It was not like all that, they weren't out in the public as much, so much. I don't know. It just seemed like it's really changed a lot. It's not. I guess maybe it's because the age, the older you get, things change. But that area has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, I was over there last night. One of my subscribers wanted me to go over there with him, and so I did. And it's become a very expensive area now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And then and everything is out in the public, but that's completely legal here. So, man, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's personally, I think they should really. I mean, here in the United States, they should legalize prostitution so there's not so much human trafficking going on, and they can control it, as far as the not getting, diseases and whatnot. But because it's always going to be there, prostitution in any country is going to be there,
Right.
So, but
and in the areas like Parqueyeras, there's a big police presence. I suppose you could still get robbed. You could certainly get pickpocketed.
Yeah.
But they do keep a police presence there to try to keep things under control.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know I saw that video of the police dancing. They looked like they were pretty friendly there, and that when the guy was singing and they were dancing with the people, that video that you put out, that was awesome. You don't see that too often here in the United States.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. Did you were you able to talk to any of the police officers and ask them how they're doing or whatever? Or?
No, I really haven't.
Oh, okay. Because
they're always friendly. I say hi and things like that, but
yeah,
my Spanish isn't good enough to ask them how their cousins do, how their family is or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very basic.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that. So you said that you had talked to some of your friends that are from. Well, I don't know if they're considered expats, but they're other travelers, and you were saying that they had some horror stories about what happened. Can you tell me what happened to a couple of them, or?
Yeah, you mean like with the scopolamine?
Yeah, like with the scopolina or the being robbed or something.
Yeah, there's well, for instance, Yeah, I know several people that live here, and one of the guys who's told me several of the stories, he's a Canadian, he's a RCMP, but he's married to a Colombian, so all his vacation time he spends here.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the coffee shop I go to every day,
Mm-hmm.
two people pulled up on a motorbike. The guy on the back got off and pulled a gun and collected phones from the table nearest to the street. So when you're here, if you're at a cafe like that, and I still go every day, I just don't sit by the street. I sit inside the cafe.
Mm.
And there's another place that the same thing happened. This is a place where they have a language exchange every week, and I go there for the language exchange. But when it happened there, they put up bars. So that's part of the reason you see bars around the front patios of some of the businesses. It's just to discourage stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the person that got robbed at the coffee shop, he said the gun didn't even look real to him. But that's not something you're going to take a chance with. So
Right. You don't know if it's a real gun. Wow, that's crazy.
yeah,
So did that leave like a really bad taste in his mouth after that happened?
he still goes there. Honestly, he just doesn't sit by the street.
So that's the important. That's a good piece of advice. Do not sit by the street when you're at a coffee shop. Always sit inside or.
And also, right now, probably because of the pandemic, and there's a lot of homeless because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
If you're by the street, you're going to get hit on by beggars every 2 or 3 minutes. And
That's
if you're back inside, they usually don't come inside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let's see here. Robert Mack says that's common in many countries. Sitting closest to the street, people lose phones. Yeah, and money. Yeah, that kind of reminds me. There was a really good movie. I forgot. Oh, man, actually, they made it into a novella, and it's about this girl that would go around selling flowers in the streets of Bogota. I forgot. I think it's called La Nina. I don't remember. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, it talks about how that's their profession is to go out and try to sell these flowers to people. And a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
have people doing that here. They try to sell me flowers all the time. And I'm like, who am I going to give them to?
I don't have anyone to give my flowers to,
Yeah.
and I'm
One
not.
guy looked at me and he said, I'm sorry.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
You apologize for trying to sell you flowers, huh?
Yeah, because I told him I didn't have anyone to give them to.
He's like, "Oh, lo siento mucho. I'm sorry, you don't have anyone."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's funny. Well, at least he had a good sense of humor about it, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Hey, so let me ask you, Brian. What was the craziest thing that happened to you since you've been in Colombia?
Okay. I'll give you a positive one.
Okay, all
Uh,
right.
so I had eaten at a restaurant and I had a bag with like a battery bank, my gimbal, some things like that in it, just things I carry around in case I'm going to film or do a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I ate in a restaurant and I forgot the bag and I walked away.
Ooh.
And this guy chased me several blocks and I was getting into a cab
Mm-hmm.
and he comes running and I'm scared. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But he's returning my bag.
Oh
And I
wow,
thought that was pretty awesome.
that is cool. Yeah, he actually ran after you.
Yeah.
Wow. And everything that was all the contents in the bag were still there. No one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. That shows how people are. There are honest people in Colombia or
Hmm.
Medellin.
Most of them, it's like everywhere else. There's just a few bad apples that give it a
Right.
bad name sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean.
that's the other thing about coming here. So many people come here for the girls,
Right.
and so many of the girls that are doing that sort of thing are very poor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come down and you might have a watch that's 2 or 3 months salary for them, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And it's very tempting for them to poison you and take it. you know.
Jeez. Wow.
So that's one thing I see a lot of advice here. It says if you want to stay safe in Colombia, don't be a 60-year-old coming here to date 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's
That.
just kind of looking for trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird because like in Thailand that stuff really doesn't happen that much, does it? Or which do you think is?
I've only heard of one case in Vietnam that I know of that happening.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just maybe it's a different mindset, but it's very rare. It's
Well,
not something I worried about there. In Asia, the only thing I ever worried about was being pickpocketed, and I keep my valuables and I wear pockets. I keep my valuables in my chest pockets, and I've never even been pickpocketed. But you know, in Asia, you don't ever, I don't at least ever even think about somebody coming up with a gun or a knife.
yeah,
You know,
that's good.
that kind of thing just doesn't happen. It's the maybe a
Right.
scam on the street or a pickpocket, something little, you know.
Wow. Robert Mack says it's very rare in Asia and especially in Vietnam and Thailand. Yeah, those are pretty safe countries, I think. Yeah. Well, I think another thing too is because being Buddhist, the religion is primarily Buddhism, so they don't believe in karma. I think so. They don't. Plus, the society is a little bit different too.
Yeah.
So, but well, that's cool. I'm glad you're having a good time in Medellin. I think you don't miss the good old American food.
No, the food's good here.
Really?
It's not as good as Mexican food. That's what I miss. I miss Mexican food.
You're in Colombia and you miss Mexican food.
They don't have Mexican food. Colombian's food is not Mexican food. It's more like, to me, it's more like Southern U.S. comfort food.
Is it really?
To
So there's
me,
like
it
a lot of
is.
fried chicken and ribs and stuff like that, and
Yeah, I mean, they've got the fried pork belly, and that would be served with rice and beans, an egg, fried plantain, which is different. We don't do that in Southern U.S., but
really,
uh, yeah, but so much of it, like then they have the papa relleno, which is mashed potatoes, rolled into a ball, battered and fried. That's something I haven't seen in the Southern U.S., but it tastes very Southern U.S.
really,
Yeah, then
wow.
they have another dish that's a bean dish. I mean, yeah, the food here.
Hey, thank you very much, Shimei, for the super chat. Wow, awesome. You're awesome, Shimei. Thank you. Um, do you like that food monongo? Is that what it's called,
Yeah, I
monongo?
like it. Yeah,
Is it
that's a
good?
soup, and it has tripe or something in it. But I'll
Yeah.
be honest, to me, it tastes like a chicken noodle soup or something in the U.S. It doesn't. Sometimes like menudo can have a off taste, off flavor to me, but
Yeah.
this doesn't. This doesn't. To me, I can't even tell it's tripe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The thing I think about Colombian food is it seems like it's very, um, it's not spicy like Mexican food. Mexican food, there's a lot of spices.
Right, and that's what I miss. That's
Yeah, I mean,
exactly what I
it's like
miss.
when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you see all these different salsas that you can try, and the peppers and everything, and plus I don't think they have tortillas in Colombia, do they? They don't. What do they? They have like bolillos or bread or something, or
They make that arepa, which is it's
arepa? Yeah.
like a bread, but it's like a unleavened bread,
Oh
and
yeah.
tastes it tastes like a very floury taste. So I'm not a big fan. There are tortillas here. There's a Mexican, two Mexican restaurants here that have tortillas that are good, and one is run by a guy from Mexico City.
Oh
Who
really?
he actually came from Mexico City to Medellin
Oh
looking
wow.
for a better life, and he has a good restaurant down there.
Wow. That would be someone I would like to interview and do a video about. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be cool. I would really like to pick his brains and why he left Mexico City.
I tried to, but my Spanish isn't so good. That's something that you could accomplish for sure.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Yeah, I would like to talk to the guy because it's very interesting that, especially when you have like people from different Latin American countries moving to another country. I know in Venezuela there's a very good reason why a lot of people are migrating to like Colombia or Peru or Mexico. But for a Mexican to move out of their country to, to especially to Colombia, I don't know. It's surprising, really. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I thought it was really unusual.
Wow. Let me see here. Robert Mack is asking you, have you been to Missouri? Is it pronounced Missouri or Missouri? Missouri.
Probably depends on where you're from. I call it
Yeah.
Missouri.
Because I was calling Illinois for a long time. And someone says it's Illinois without the S at the end.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have a friend in Missouri. Actually, he is on Table Rock Lake.
oh, really?
Yeah, so it's been just north of Eureka Springs into Missouri. Yeah, I've been to Missouri several times, or I have a motorcycle up there.
Yeah. Did you like it up there?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice. I think it's very country like. I kind of like that kind of um, ambience and atmosphere. Slow country living. Um,
I like it, but I get bored easily. So I like to
yeah,
visit and then leave.
yeah, I know. That's why I can only stay a short time when I go visit my hometown because it's so small. Only 20,000 people. There's a lake, but I mean, you only do so much, and it's like, man, you kind of like, man, I would like to go to a bigger city like Seattle or where it's more diverse and because you don't. One thing about those small towns in USA, you don't find that many different type of ethnic type food restaurants like here.
And that's one thing that I really don't like about traveling in the USA is, to me, when I travel in the USA, it mostly feels the same.
Yeah,
Town to town, the same restaurants, the same, it's
yeah, yeah. Especially when if you go to like the typical chain type restaurants, right? Yeah.
yeah. And if you go, like, for instance, I haven't traveled around Colombia much yet, but I'm getting ready to. But in Vietnam, you can go from Da Nang to Hue, or from Da Nang to Hoi An. Hoi An's a 20-minute drive, maybe 30.
Hmm.
Hue is an hour drive, and you have a totally different food set. So you can go 1 hour,
Wow.
and the cuisine is totally different.
Really?
And we don't have that in the U.S. I mean, we have our regions. Yes, we have regions with different food, but I don't know anywhere in the U.S. where you can drive 20 minutes or an hour and have a totally different set of food.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Wow. I guess the only place that you can think of that is like San Diego. Like if you go from San Diego to Tijuana, you know. I'm trying to get you to
Yeah.
go to Tijuana. Next time you come out, you have to come out to Tijuana. I'd like to see, not because of the red light district, but just to be in that part of Mexico. So you've been there.
Yeah, no, I've never been to that part. I've been all over Mexico. I've got over 30,000 miles riding in Mexico, but I've never
Wow.
been to Tijuana. I've never been to the Baja Peninsula.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what's really interesting, and I completely forgot about this is that I didn't realize how culturally different Mexico is. I mean, within the different states, like the people that are near the coast are so different from the people that are from northern Mexico and southern Mexico, like Chiapas, and I was like, wow, because I started hearing like the dialect. I started hearing them speak Spanish. I'm like, yeah, the people from Acapulco, La Costa, they speak differently from people from Mexico City. And it was
Hmm.
funny because I was talking to this guy. Um, he was a street vendor, and I was trying to buy like a shoulder bag, the one I bought, because mine totally broke up. And he's like, "Oh man!" And I was speaking to him in Spanish. He said, "Oh man, are you from Mexico City?" I'm like, "No, no, no. I'm from the United States." He's like, "Oh wow, okay." He said, "I thought you were from Mexico City because of your Spanish." I'm like, "No, no, no, no." But
Yeah, there's a lot of different dialects in Mexico, and Mexico also has regional food differences
yeah.
uh, that are not so pronounced, but they're definitely there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I heard that one of the best places to get food is in Oaxaca. Oaxaca is very
Oaxaca is considered
yeah,
the culinary capital of Mexico.
yep.
I actually took a cooking class there, 3 or 4 years ago, and learned how to make the best chili rellenos I've ever had in my life.
Oh, really?
And then I went home and never made them again.
You never made them again. That,
No,
that that's
but
I
I've
mean
still got the recipe, so I could.
well there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll have to do a video on your recipe of chili rellenos. That would be,
yeah,
or maybe do them in Colombia if you can. I don't know if they have
right.
those in Colombia. That would be interesting. Chili rellenos in Colombia. Wow. Yeah, so I know. And speaking of Colombia too, the Spanish is so much different in Medellin. I mean, a lot of them say "que más," "que más, paisero, pasa, paisa."
Mhm.
They use a different type of Spanish.
There are a lot of differences here, and I probably can't think of any at the moment, but like, for instance, when I was taking Spanish classes, she would say something, and I would say, "Wait, now you say that differently in Mexico." And she knows the difference, and she said, "Yes, that's right. You say it differently in Mexico. Which do you want to learn?"
Uh huh.
And I said, "Well, I'm here, so I should probably learn Colombian style."
Colombian style Spanish, yeah. You
Yeah,
just have to basically you have to mimic what they say. That's what I do is I just mimic them. You know.
right.
Yeah, because it was funny because when I was in Mexico City, they kind of like they say that they kind of like sing when they speak Spanish, and it's kind of funny the way they talk too, but it's different. Yeah, but in Colombia they speak differently. I don't know. I know because when I hear Eddie speak Spanish, you can tell he's definitely from Colombia, or he's been in Colombia for a long time. And I don't know. I think someone told him you don't speak Spanish because then they're going to think that they'll treat you better if you only speak English in Mexico for some reason. I don't know why,
Really?
but yeah, and because I've heard, and this is from what I've seen on other channels, that there's kind of like I think they treat sometimes the tourists better than they treat their own people sometimes, which is kind of
Right.
weird. You
Yeah.
know, you've experienced that in Colombia too? Like they treat tourists a little bit better than they do their own people.
I just don't know.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know
it's
the answer to that.
really, yeah.
I have I have friends here, but they're all expats because of my Spanish. I have one friend who's a local, but I haven't seen him yet this year. I've talked to him a few times, but we haven't hung out
Oh,
this
really?
time.
Are you planning? Do you think you want to go to Manizales? Because I think Jonathan went out there.
I don't know. There's a lot of places I want to see, and there's kind of a little triangle over in that area where you could hit 2 or 3 good cities without a lot of driving.
Yeah,
As of right now, I haven't made any firm decisions. I told you earlier I registered with the government so I can buy a motorbike, but I haven't purchased one. I haven't said 100% I'm going to even do that. There's still some other things up in the air.
yeah.
Um, I'm waiting on a message from somebody in a country halfway around the world that I might go over there. So
Ah,
it's kind of in limbo.
I hear you. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Are you thinking about going to the Philippines?
No, Philippines isn't open. As a matter of fact, their COVID numbers are insane. It's
Yeah,
high, 28,000 new cases a day or something. It's just spiking over there right now.
that's crazy. Wow.
So I don't know when that will open. If Philippines opened, I would go immediately. If
Yeah,
Vietnam opened, I would go immediately. I'd go to Thailand even. Just I don't want to do the quarantine. Maybe a
right.
1 week quarantine I would be good with, but no more than that. I
Yeah,
know people have done that, and they all say it's terrible.
yeah. I don't think I would want to stay quarantined for 2 weeks. Yeah. Hey, what's up? There's oh wow, we've got Nirvana in the chat.
Hey,
What's up,
wonder.
Nirvana? Wonder Nirvana. Hey, haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got that one video that went pretty viral. The one that
the cops with the guns.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sun's out, cops or guns out. What is it? Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, that's right.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad they cleaned up Venice Beach. It was getting pretty crazy out there. It was I mean, you hear it even in Koreatown. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I think I was out walking this morning and I was amazed at all the homeless encampments they still have out here. Um, they have if you go on this one street, it's insane. They have like uh, bikes packed on type of stacked on top of bikes. So it's almost like a wall of bikes, used bikes, and it's like homeless encampments. Like, what the heck is going on? How do they let these people accumulate so much garbage?
So that's their privacy fence, huh?
I guess I don't know. It's weird. I kind of want to walk by there and film them, but I'm like, man, I don't think that would because I don't. They don't like to be filmed. The homeless don't like to be filmed.
Right.
They get really upset about that. But yeah, do you see a lot of homelessness in Colombia, in Medellin in particular?
Yeah, you do. If you're on the metro and you're going, the metro, the main line runs along the river, and you can see on the other side of the river they have these little camps where they've got the tarps and built their little home. So
Yeah.
you see that when you're on the metro. When you're walking down the street, you'll see some of them, and lots of times there you don't see them so much in the day. But like if I'm walking home last night, I came home maybe midnight or something.
Yeah.
And so after it gets dark, because it's rainy season and it rains most days, they'll go sleep underneath somebody's, I don't know what you call it. It's kind of like a carport thing on the buildings. They'll go sleep and you'll see them, so they're here, but I don't know anything about the numbers. I don't know what number would equal a lot, what number would equal a few.
Yeah. It's probably not like the numbers that you'd see like in Texas or in Florida, maybe, or even in LA.
Right. And then, it's the same thing here. Like, for instance, there's a gringo homeless guy here. I mean,
Really? Oh, wow.
yeah, some of them are homeless because of work, and some of them are homeless because they came here and started partying too much,
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, they just lost
Yeah.
control. Wow. Um, Man. So have you talked to them? Yeah, that would be kind of interesting to interview and find out their story.
That guy, I don't know if you get the truth. I saw him, and I was thinking I saw him last year too, but I wasn't positive. It had been so many months.
Wow.
But when I came home, I think it was the next day, there's a Medellin expat group on Facebook, and I was reading the post, and somebody else mentioned him. And then there are like 20 comments down below. Everybody's like, "Yeah, we know that guy. He's up and down there all the time. He's trying to get money for drugs or whatever." Because when I saw him, his story just didn't make sense. He had the scar on his arm,
Yeah.
but you can tell that there was no redness to it. It had been healed for probably several years. And he was like, "I just got out of the hospital. They robbed me and cut my arm, and I need $5 so I can get a motel." And I was looking at his arm. I was like, "That is not a fresh cut."
He's probably been using that story for the last year.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh man. Well, it sounds like that kind of guy would probably be like that lady that I have in one of my videos that say that she was outside the Hotel Cecil and she said that she met Richard Ramirez, which is hard to believe because the time that she said that she arrived in LA was after he had been booked and already put in jail and everything. So he was already in jail. So there's no way she.
Right.
But yeah, I let her talk. I mean, it was an interesting story. I mean, she was a little bit, because of the drugs and everything. But
Yeah, there's always something that doesn't match up.
yeah. Hey, so when you are walking around like in Medellin and you see like someone that you think that is American, do you like acknowledge each other and say hello or hey, what's up or
Usually, if I hear English, I'll say hi. You know.
yeah? Oh,
And,
okay.
and sometimes you get surprised by the locals. Like yesterday, a girl bumped into me and she said, "Excuse me,"
Uh-huh.
a Colombian girl. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Wow, you speak English?" And she said, "Yeah." And I think there's more English here than you really see because, like in everywhere else, when you're learning a new language, you're shy about speaking it.
Oh really?
So it feels to me like a lot of people know a little bit of English, but they're shy to talk. Matter of fact, when I went to the front office today, I was using a translator because I didn't know how to say what I needed to ask her. And she said a word in English. I was like, "Oh, you speak English?" And she said, "A little." Well, then we go on to speak in English. No, she spoke great English. She just didn't have confidence.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. Hey, I just noticed that traveling Eddie just in the stream. Hey, um, Eddie, do you want to join the chat? Because we can put you in too. You want to come in? Because I'm sure Brian may have some questions for you for about in regards to Medellin. Let's see if Eddie responds. Yeah, he just popped in. Um, yeah, it's weird because I actually saw. I thought there were American uh, guys in Mexico City. I said I was like, "Hello," like you, right? I say hello, and then I found out, oh no, they're from Germany. And so the guy was telling me, "Oh man, you're like they're like visiting in German from Germany." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me send this email to Eddie real quick so we can join."
Yeah, there are definitely lots of expats here from different countries. The owner of the coffee shop I go to is from Poland. There are Italians here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so you can see a gringo. It doesn't necessarily mean they speak English.
yeah, that's cool. Let me see here. Oh man, I'm gonna shoot over email for Eddie. What? Oh man, let me see. Bear with me, just guys. I'm gonna go ahead and see the best way to do this. Hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and copy the link and I'll put it in the chat. Um, I can always control who will come in, but let me, Eddie. I'm gonna put in the chat. I'm gonna type the link in so you can type it in here. There you go. That's easier, I think, than sending it to you. So And if you want to join in, please click on the link, and we'll get you in. Yeah. What time?
And
what time?
here's something.
Yeah. What's up? What Brian?
Oh, here's something interesting about Colombia. We're talking about riding motorcycles through here. I didn't know. Maybe most people don't.
Yeah.
You know, the mountains here. The tallest mountain in Colorado wouldn't be in the top 10 in Colombia. I
Really?
never knew that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So there's some amazing riding out there.
So you're saying that the tallest mountain in Colorado wouldn't even be as tall as the mountains in Colombia?
Wouldn't be in the top 10 in Colombia, yes.
Really? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we always think that because the Rocky Mountains, there's pretty tall mountains up there. But yeah, I was surprised that Mexico City is pretty high in elevation too. It's higher than I think it's higher than Denver, as a matter of fact.
Is it?
Yeah, and you can feel it too because I noticed that when I was running around, you have to get used to the altitude because your shortness of breath and you can feel
Yeah, the first time I rode down there, I rode a carbureted motorcycle, and going out, and Mexico City's kind of in a valley, but in the mountains around Mexico City, I could sure tell a difference in the power.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get kind of short of breath too?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I got short of breath when I came here, but it only lasted a week or so. You can kind of adjust to it after a little while.
What is the altitude, I wonder, of Medellin? Is that
It's I think it's like 5,000 foot, maybe 6,000 foot at Guatepe.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. It's similar to Denver.
Is it? Okay, that's pretty high up then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we see a lot of beautiful people in your videos, man.
Yeah, they're here. Somebody said something about don't film the girls in one of the comments, and I'm like, that would mean I'd have to turn my camera off.
They're walking around. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, it seems like they want to be on camera. Some of them too. So a lot of people.
Most of them like it. The only ones I've found that really don't want to be on camera are the working girls. But most of the locals love to be on camera. You'll see they're always smiling and saying hi when they see I have a camera.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, because I noticed that here's Eddie. Let me get him in. Eddie, let me see. He's going here. All right, we see your table there, Eddie.
Yeah, let me switch the camera around. I don't know why it's going front. Hold on. Well, let me just turn the camera on me.
Hey, there's Eddie, Mr. Edwin Toro, who's living in Mexico City now.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine, and you guys? I'm doing all right. Just came back from visiting one of the former Aztec establishments called the Cuiculco. It's an archaeological site here in Mexico City, so it's all good.
Oh, good. Hey, I like your beard, and it's growing out, man.
Yeah, sometimes I let it grow out. Sometimes I shave it all off. Right now, it's this particular spell.
Oh, cool. Hey, I was going to ask you, that video that you just put up about Coyoacan, was that recent or was that a while back?
That was in August, just last month.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because I noticed that you mentioned that when you went to Santa Fe Park, I guess, was there like a security guard or someone that told you that you can't film? And you were like, what?
Yeah, that happened. I mean, it was crazy. Even the lady that was next to me with her children and everything, everybody's taking pictures, doing little short videos. And just because I had the gimbal out with the smartphone, I don't know, the security guard came over to me and told me I couldn't do it. I was just turning it off. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They did the same thing to me in Hitler. You can go in there and take pictures, but if you've got a camera that looks semi-professional, they don't want you to. I just gave the guide a good tip, and he let me do it.
Okay, that's a good one, Brian. That's a good one.
Money talks and BS walks, huh? That's what it is, huh?
Yeah. And the funny thing is that park, La Mexicana, the Mexicana Park, that's where all the rich people live and go to. You don't see any vagabonds or scruffy-looking people around there. And I was dressed well and everything. It's just I had a gimbal, and nobody's walking around with a gimbal and a smartphone attached. Everybody's just doing their smartphones, taking selfies, taking little short videos with their kids, with their dogs and whatever. And I guess I was the one that was different.
I think they're just pandemic party poopers. That's what they are.
Yeah. I had already done my video anyway. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I didn't say anything to the guy. It was not his fault. Probably somebody was, I mean, whatever. It happened. But yeah, guys, what are you talking about? Because I had to step away for 3 minutes. I heard something about motorcycles, Colombia, mountains.
Yeah.
Brian,
yeah, I registered with Brunt a few days ago. I'm thinking about buying a motorcycle here and traveling around some. You know, that's how I usually travel in Mexico.
And you're in Medellin, Colombia right now. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Medellin.
Okay, well, Brian, how long have you been in Colombia for?
This year, about 5 weeks so far.
All right. Do you know how the traffic situation works in terms of motorbikes on the street?
I know I've seen more motorbike wrecks here than anywhere I've been in the world.
And fatalities, even people's heads squashed like a grape.
Yeah, I watched a cab run over a guy stopped at a stoplight last year, and the guy never got up. I don't know if he lived or not, but he was carried away. But I don't plan on riding in Medellin, only to get out of Medellin.
Even on the roads on the highway, because I lived in Colombia for 23 years and I had a motorbike for 7. And you really got to be street smart and have, like, I don't know, not just 4 eyes, but 2 eyes on each side, front, back, on the sides, and even above you in case a helicopter lands on you.
Is it that dangerous in Medellin? Wow.
In Colombia, too. I mean, Bogota, Cali. I mean, I rode for 7 years, and I lived in the countryside. I lived in the city. There in Medellin, I lived in Guarne, and in the mountains up in the countryside. And even on the highways, people don't really respect you. You're on the right lane, on the right side, because there's 2 lanes going up the Medellin-Bogota highway. And I was just stay to the right, and I didn't want to go that fast, but going fast enough or speed limit a little bit above it. And still even cars would come like right behind me when the left lane was already open, and would just like right behind me, like almost smelling my rear end.
Wow. That's crazy.
So
Wow.
Brian, you go ahead and do it as long as you're fearless, but just know that you're always going to be playing defense.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Man, any other tips or advice you can give Brian about Medellin, Eddie? Because he's saying that there's a lot of crime is up now because of the pandemic, I guess.
Well, there are a lot of poor people. A lot of people went into poverty again because some people were living paycheck to paycheck before the pandemic. And then now with this whole thing, a lot of people lost their livelihood, their jobs and everything. And some people resort to just begging for money. Some people resort to getting a little loan for somebody and selling things on the street like coffee or whatever, like walking around selling tidbits or whatever. And some people have no other choice but to either rob people or join organized crime.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. What? Because Brian was mentioned about some. They're not expat, but they're travelers. They're American. There's an American guy. He was sitting outside of a cafe, and some guys pulled up on a motorcycle, and they robbed everyone that was sitting outside the cafe.
Only the people that were sitting by the street.
Yeah, by the street.
Where was that? Where was that, Brian?
Laureles.
Laureles. Yeah, the laurel, like the trees, the laurel trees.
Yeah.
That's Laureles because of those
trees.
There's happened at
2 cafes here.
Well, Laureles is more susceptible to that because Laureles, that neighborhood, is closer to the comunas, where all of that is comunas, but the neighborhoods that tend to be like low income, like San Javier and those Belén, upper part of Belén. So Laureles is closer for those thieves that are riding on a motorcycle. One guy is riding it, and the other guy, the passenger, is the one that usually gets off with a gun and says, hand everything over quickly, and then they jump back on. They're gone in less than 60 seconds, like the movie.
Wow. That's crazy.
But not in El Poblado. El Poblado, that's not impossible, but very difficult to see that happen because the criminals on those motorbikes have to go pretty much out of their way. Whereas in Laureles, they can swoop back into their neighborhoods where the police usually don't go chasing them, and then they disappear.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow, do you miss Colombia, Eddie?
Now I do. I didn't before, but now I do. Not like I'm dying, but Colombia's great. I mean, I lived there for 23 years. I loved it. I learned how to dance salsa, merengue,
Cool.
vallenatos. I saw a lot of the areas in Colombia, like Guajira, Cabo de la Vela, all the way up the desert area there, Santa Marta. I mean, went to Manizales Pereira, the Nevada, Ruiz, Nevada, not the Sierra Nevada, but the Ruiz, Nevada. It's a beautiful country, Brian. You're enjoying a beautiful place, and most people are very nice people. In Antioquia, where you're living right now, that's the state or the department. You're in probably the best department or state in all of Colombia, according to many people, and in my humble opinion too. The weather is pretty darn good. You don't get any snow, you don't get any extreme heat. I mean, just the rain because of the phenomenon, Nino, Nina, and itchy and scratchy and whatever.
Yeah, the time I've been here, the temperature high has been mid 80s and the low's been 60. So
That's
Wow.
usually the case. Eternal Spring, the city of Eternal Spring. You go to Bogota, it's a whole different story, like Mexico City. You go to Cartagena, it's pretty darn hot and humid.
The only thing that Brian said that he misses Mexican food in Colombia, dude.
Colombian food sucks. Colombian food sucks. And
You
I
think,
lived in Colombia.
really? You think so, Eddie? Really? Why do you say that?
Hey, Brian, tell me if I'm wrong.
You
I like Colombian food, but it's not near as good as Mexican food. It's kind of bland compared to Mexican food.
That's why it sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Eddie, let me ask them. Did you go to that place again? Pandemonium? Did you go to that place to eat again today?
It's a food stand. It's a
Yeah.
food stand, street stand, food stand there in Roma Norte, half a block from Rio de Janeiro Park. But I didn't go to there today. I went to another little restaurant that's nearby where I live here that I discovered this week called Govinda Ram by the Hare Krishnas.
Yeah.
And for 100 pesos, $5. Come on, $5. That's better than a McDonald's combo deal and much healthier. And you get everything: soup, salad, dessert, the main plate, the juice, everything. Vegetarian. But see, the food in Colombia, Brian, it's very bland, and I don't know, I mean, Mexican food, even before I became a vegetarian, was always awesome for me. Before I became a vegetarian, and even now as a vegetarian, I've gone to some vegetarian restaurants here, vegan, that serve Mexican vegan food or vegetarian Mexican, like tacos, burritos, and whatever, and it's pretty darn good. But Colombian food from the foreigners I knew, my friends, because I'm an English language teacher, so I had co-workers from England, from Europe, from Canada, Australia, the States, and all English-speaking people. They were going through Colombia through the 23 years I lived there. And usually they told me they didn't like Colombian food that much, except for arepas and quesito, but not like those plates like plato montañero or plato bandeja paisa. Have you eaten those,
Yeah,
Brian?
and I like it. I'm not a fan of the arepas, but I like bandeja paisa.
All right. What about
Wait.
the other stuff, the other Colombian food, the regular food they serve you restaurants?
Yeah, so far I've liked most of it. Like I said, it's bland to me, but I don't. Doesn't taste bad. It just could use a little more heat. I'm kind of a heat extreme. I like everything spicy and hot.
So do they have tapatio or like hot sauce you can put on that stuff to make it get more zest?
Not. They call it salsa picante. It's
Salsa mediana.
Yeah, it's not hot.
It's not hot, huh?
No,
Yeah.
nowhere. Colombians don't like spicy food. Period.
They don't like
Yeah.
That's what I got from 23 years of living there. They told me most of them, they don't like spicy food. The few that do go to the Mexican restaurants in
Yeah,
Medellin.
there's a
or
Mexican
Bogota.
restaurant here that makes a good habanero salsa, and there's an Indian restaurant here that will light me up too.
Which one?
It's called Nan.
Which is-
It's in Laureles.
Or is it Laureles? Also, they have a second one. The first one is in El Poblado, going up 10th Street, and then you turn off on 34th Street where they have Provenza. They have the original Nan is over there. Wow, cool. Nan.
So that's good. That's an Indian restaurant. Wow. Hey, I want to ask you, Eddie, how are you feeling after the earthquake? Are you still a little, you feel a little jittery at all or no?
No. I mean, I was totally cool, calm, and collected. The three C's, pure
Yeah.
vitamin C right there. Those things, I'm not phased by them. They don't. I'm fearless. But what did bother me was because of the movement. I suffer from motion sickness when I
Yeah.
have the strong movement to the side or up and down. And that thing, I was in meditation. I was meditating on my bed, like half asleep, half awake, with my
Uh-huh.
earplugs in my ears and sitting. And then the owner of the apartment came knocking on the door hard. And definitely one of my earplugs was a little loose because I have these special earplugs. And I heard him saying, Eddie, Eddie, in Spanish, el alarma sonó, la alarma de terremoto. Tenemos un minuto. We have a minute to get the hell out. I'm like, what? And I started snapping out of my meditation or my coma. And then I put on my pants quickly and had my wallet in there, got my cell phone, my passport, and that's it. That was on the table, my credit card. And then I just walked out. And he's like, come on, we got to go fast. And I'm still like, kind of like half in, half out. And it was shaking side to side. And I'm feeling dizzy at that moment when I started realizing, why the hell am I dizzy? And he left first. And then I started right after him because we're on the second floor. It's only a 3-story condominium. Let me show you what it is like El Chavo del Ocho, if you are familiar with El Chavo cartoons. Not cartoons, it was a TV series. Do you see?
Yeah. Channel.
This is only 3 stories.
Uh,
3 stories, and I'm on the second floor here, so we have to come out. This is an interior courtyard, and then you just got to go out to the street. So the guys, I'm trying to lock the door while I'm closing it. I'm just going sideways. I'm like I'm drunk. I couldn't like put the key into the keyhole. And finally, I started walking down the stairs, and I'm still going side to side. Then I realized, oh crap, this is an earthquake. Then I like was fully awake, and like okay, I just kept walking and whatever. When I got out to the street, a minute and a half later, I started the video. That short video I put up Tuesday night, the same night of the earthquake, and that's when you see, like in the first 10 seconds of the video, you see the two cable power lines connecting together and exploding, like having that sparks, and people like, oh crap, and then you hear explosions all over the place, and that was it. And I was still dizzy, and it was raining. We came back in like about 15 minutes later, when because they said that this earthquake or tremor lasted about 2 minutes here.
wow. And you had aftershocks after that too? You had little small ones or no?
They said that we did. I just slept like a bear, not like a baby. A baby doesn't sleep. They wake up like 10 times in the night, but I slept like a bear.
Wow. So hey, Brian, you heard about that big earthquake that was in Acapulco? It was actually centered out of Acapulco. Did you hear about
No, I
that?
didn't hear about it.
It was a seven. I think it was like 7.0 on the Richter scale. It was about 10
Wow.
miles outside of Acapulco, in the state of Guerrero, and then Mexico City. They felt it, of course, too. So,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I don't know how many deaths, how many people died from that. Do you know, Eddie? Have you heard?
They said basically nobody. I think I heard one death. I mean, it was not, it was serious, but not that serious. There was only very minor structural damage in a few
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah.
Everything was like back to normal the next day. Everybody went to work. I was on the subway going to a place because one of my friends, Finn Del Mundo, that you've been talking to recently, that
Oh,
you
yeah.
subscribe to each other's channel, he told
Yeah,
me, hey,
yeah.
Eddie, you should go out the next day and do a follow-up report. And I went out to do that. And it was all good. Nothing.
That was good. Yeah, I mean that was a pretty viral video, man. You got like I think over 35,000 views on that one. That's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I was half in, half out. If I had been fully conscious when this was happening, I would have just popped out the camera immediately and going out and showing everybody me doing the Humpty Hump dance to the side.
That's
I've
why you
only
got,
been in one earthquake, and it was the same way. I was asleep, and it was in Nepal, and I was asleep, and I woke up, and I thought people were running around my room. You're kind of in, kind of out, and it was the furniture moving around.
wow.
And by the time I realized what it was over.
Damn.
I'm
That's crazy.
happy I
Man.
was able to be only half in and half out. And wow, Nepal. I wanted to go to Nepal when I was in India 2 years ago, but I wasn't able to go there. How was it?
I love Nepal. I'd like to go back. I haven't been to India. I'd like to go to India.
India's awesome. I was there.
I want to ride a
off the
motorcycle
charts.
around.
Yeah, get yourself a Himalayan 450.
Yeah. They have those here too, but motorcycles are expensive here. They're about twice what they are in the U.S. here. And in India, the Himalayan, the Royal Enfields are half of what they are in the U.S. or, anywhere else, because that's where they're made.
Hey, we got Philly Dom in the chat, man. Philly Dom is over in Haiti. How's things over in Haiti, Philly Dom? Yeah, Philly Dom. Actually, you guys are part of, well, not you yet, Eddie, but Top Shelf Travel Network. I don't know if that site's, it kind of goes off.
It was off, but it's back on now.
Back on now? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you ever meet up with Fin del Mundo?
Yeah,
Eddie?
we met up on Saturday.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that guy's cool, man. I like his video. He does really good editing. I'm really impressed. He told me that he uses Final Cut, so I'm gonna get that. But yeah, I think he's over. Where is he now? He's not in Mexico City, right? He's
No, he was only here for 3 days, so he hit me up and asked me if we wanted to meet up because we had already been on WhatsApp, like talking to each other and everything. Yeah. And then we met up on this past Saturday, and he's a really cool dude, down to earth, really cool New Zealander, a Kiwi. Yeah. He's from New Zealand. He loves Mexico. And he's out in Puerto Escondido. He was out in Oaxaca, but he wanted to go to Puerto Escondido because that's one of the first places he ever visited when he came here to Mexico the first time. This is not the first time he's been here. And I did a short video with him, but it won't be coming out for a couple of months because we went to Cuiculco, the place I told you guys about, the archaeological place that has extraterrestrial ties, even though the government doesn't want to acknowledge it. So I was doing a video on that, and we went, but we were not able to go in last Saturday because of this whole shamalama ding dong thing that we're going through in the world. It was closed, but it's open Wednesdays through Friday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And I went back and I finished up the video, but I'm gonna edit it one of these days and then upload it and whatever. I just got too much material right now, and I'm swamped. I'm burnt out of doing videos.
Yeah, you've been putting up a lot of content, Eddie. I think you're going to be monetized pretty soon. For those of you who have not subscribed to Eddie's channel, please subscribe. It's Traveling Eddie, and he has one in Spanish called Eddie Viajero, right?
Yeah, Eddie Viajero. That one is in Spanish 95% of the time, or 90. Once in a while, it's in Spanish and English when I get only one shot to do a video. So I do it in the 2 languages, and that's it. But most of the time, it's just in Spanish in case anybody wants to improve their Spanish according to Colombian Paisa Spanish, which is my Spanish from there.
Hey, Eddie, what important words do you think Brian should learn that in Spanish that you can use that are useful in Colombia?
How much Spanish do you speak, Brian?
Just a little.
Just a little?
I can get by. Like I can ride a motorcycle through Mexico, and I can get food, I can get gas, I can get a room, but I'm not very conversational.
Okay. Well, I mean, normal stuff that you would need, that everybody says is like maybe the lower class, the kids on the street, the guys on the street, they might say parce or parcero. That's like homeboy.
Okay, yeah. I've seen shirts that say that.
And if they say mono to you, it's because they're calling you white boy. Mono, ¿qué hubo, mono?
Okay.
And mono means monkey too, but they're not insulting you. They're just saying, hey, mono, ¿qué hora es mono? They might say, like, what time is it, mono? Or mono, una moneda. Mono, give me some money.
I hear that part a lot. Somebody told me a different name they have for gringos, and I don't remember how you say it, but it has to do with the eyes. It means colored eyes or something like that, and it's a slang word for gringos.
Zarco?
That might be it.
Zarco, not narco, but zarco. Zarco means that you have light colored eyes. It says ojizarco or zarco.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Zarco is very common in like Antioquia. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I remember hearing it a lot. I don't use it, but is this zarco or esa? Talking about him or her. Esa is zarca or the guy is zarco.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What any other words that you think are really important? Because I know Colombian Spanish is different from Mexican Spanish a little bit, huh?
A lot, not a little, a lot.
No,
I'm getting the gist of that here in Mexico because, I understand, but then again, I understand when people here in Mexico, they say aguas. Aguas means water, water,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like in
yeah, yeah.
plural. But aguas in Mexico means be careful, watch out. Yo, like in New York, yo, watch out.
Yeah. That's what I told Rosie O'Kelly when she was walking around Zocalo, and she was filming, and some guy almost ran in her. And you know what she said? She told the guy, "Estupido," like that, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of like calling him out and saying he's a dumbass." But you should say
Yeah,
aguas. Say cuidado or aguas is a little bit more nice. Don't say stupido.
yeah, because if you go insulting people, you might insult the wrong one and then get a knife or a headbutt or whatever.
Yeah, no, you gotta, especially when you're in Mexico. You want to. I mean, well, any foreign country, you don't want to be derogatory towards anybody. You
No,
know.
no, no. That's the thing. Sorry to ask a question, but Brian, where are you from in the States?
Texas.
Texas. All my exes live in Texas. I'm from South Carolina, but I remember I'm from South
Right.
Carolina. I grew up in South Carolina. I was born in New York, but I lived most of my life in South Carolina and Georgia in terms of the states.
Did you? Hey, I thought your exes were in Colombia too.
No,
Eddie,
it's just a song, man. It's the song. It's a
joking. I'm
song
just
by
joking.
Willie Nelson or I forgot who.
There's
I'm just,
actually a restaurant here by George, and he's from Atlanta. And he has on the weekends he makes Southern barbecue here, and then like during the week he has all day breakfast, and he has chicken and waffles and stuff like that.
Does he have grits?
He does have grits, yeah.
Oh,
Rich.
I gotta go. And where is it in Medellin? Where is it?
It's in Laurelis. It's called Sweet Georgia Cafe, I think.
Sweet
Sweet
Georgia
Georgia.
on my mind. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I imagine he's got some peach cobbler too.
I don't remember that, but I didn't look at the desserts, but probably so. I've only been once, and I went with a group of people.
Okay, Brian.
Oh, that sounds
I thought
lovely to me because I love Georgia more than I do South Carolina, but I love them both.
was was the food good? Was it a thumbs up, Brian, or was it just so?
Well, I went on the weekend and I went hoping to get the barbecue, but they were already sold out. So I had a fried chicken sandwich, and it was good, but it wasn't anything special, especially when you have your hopes up for some good Southern barbecue. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Nothing to write home about, huh?
Yeah.
Like you and your friends were eating ribs at the place the other day when I called you, right? You were eating.
Yeah, and that place is good too.
Yeah.
I couldn't. That's Bravato, and it's a local Colombian place, but yeah, they make some good ribs.
Wow. I didn't
And the
realize.
Bravato, if you're drinking on Setenta, they have that little place where you saw me. We were the only people in the restaurant, but they have about 10 employees down on Setenta going from place to place. And if you order, they'll run the food down to you. You can eat it at your table while you're having drinks.
Wow.
Wow, that's
As
awesome.
I
Wow.
think is pretty cool and it's not that dangerous as people would think, unless you're. They say in Colombia, another one, Brian, no de papaya. No
Don't
de
give papaya.
papaya
Yeah,
means you know what it is, right? Don't go
I know that one.
exposing.
Don't give people a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No de
No de
papaya.
papaya.
Oh my God. Hey, so Eddie, have you had any bad experience in Mexico other than people telling you not to film, which is just being cranky, wanky, like you say?
Yeah, cranky, wanky little wankers there. Um, I'm trying to remember. No, no, not really. I mean, the other day, but this was just a guy being an idiot. I asked him, "Hey, where is there a metro station near here?" And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, right there on the corner of the block." So I go over there, and it's raining, and I go, and I don't see any metro station. And then I asked another dude, "Hey, where's the metro station?" He said, "It's like 5 blocks up." I'm like, "Wow, this other guy made me lose my time." And he's a person that has a food stand, and he just probably didn't like my energy, my good vibrations, like the Beach Boys, and wanted to send me on a wipeout mission. And that was it.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, well, I think that's common in Mexico. They don't give you the real direction. Sometimes they want to be helpful, but they'll never admit they
But
don't know.
most do. Most in
Yeah.
Mexico City have given me good directions here. which way to go and whatever. It was just once in the blue moon you get a person that's feeling miserable in life instead of happy-go-lucky. Hey, Brian, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's Beyond Brian.
Beyond Brian, cool. I'll look it up in a little while. That's good. So I can be one more in the group to support you. Beyond Brian.
Right on.
And it's just like that, spelled out, Beyond Brian.
Yeah, Brian with an I. I don't know if it comes up though. That was not something I thought about when I named the channel, that it could be spelled with a Y or an I. I didn't think about it. So
Yeah.
Because one of my friends from school, he spells his name with a Y.
Like Brian Adams. But your name is actually spelled Brian, right, Brian?
yeah, it is.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Hey, Eddie, what's really interesting is that there's a Colombian YouTuber. Her name is Afro Wahida. Have you heard of her channel?
No, man, I watch mostly nobody these days, except for you, Kev, Finn, Benjamin Jenks, an American in India, and this other dude, Dale Phillip, the Scotsman, and I think that's about it.
Okay.
And Witty Travels. That's it. I have time for nothing more. But now I'm going to be checking out Brian and, of course, Robert Mack in Asia when I can as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, the reason why I was going to tell you is that this girl, she's a YouTuber in Colombia. She's got about, I think she's got like around 15 or 16,000 subs. But anyhow, she was getting Google AdSense money from Google, and I guess they want to tax her like 30% of her income every month. And so Brian was going to, try to help her out because Brian's actually an accountant. But once you get monetized, because I know that you actually live in Colombia, and I think you'll have to, you probably have like a tax ID number that you can use here in the United States, because they'll report that income to the U.S. government, right, Brian?
Yeah.
And you get taxed, yeah. Even it doesn't matter if you're not an American citizen or resident.
What do you mean? Because I'm based out of Colombia in terms of the YouTube thing, the country of residence or blah, 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 blah. The Colombian government is going to tax me 30%?
From the U.S.
Yeah, if your views are coming mostly from the U.S., which I think a lot of your views are because your channel's in English and a little bit in Spanish. So Google wants to they want to tax you 30% of when you get monetized. So just a little heads up on that.
So to avoid that, the states would tax me less if it was out of the states or something?
No, you still have to pay tax. It's the same. It makes no difference. It's just people that are out of the country aren't expecting it.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise for her name is Maida. Maida, she was surprised. But what Brian was suggesting you do is just make sure that you keep all your receipts and everything. All your travel expenses can be used as deductions, right, Brian?
Yeah. Everything, all the costs in order to produce a video. So yeah, you might want to start keeping up with that. I don't know. Do you file taxes now? I guess you're still a U.S. citizen or no?
No, I'm always been a U.S. citizen since day one, since the day I was born. Never given it up for any Russian citizenship.
Yeah.
But you just got to, I think once you start making income from YouTube, they're going to start taxing you though.
They're going to send you a 1099. Yeah. And if,
I'll file it then. They'll send it to me. I got no problem with that. I'm always paid my taxes. I mean, the last time I filed taxes, I haven't lived in the States. In the last 26 years of my life, I lived in the States for what? 2 years? The rest of the time I've lived in Colombia. So that's where I always do my income tax stuff, what they call declaración de renta in Colombia. But I found out recently that I got to do something about the States, even though I don't live there anymore and I don't work there. And all my money comes from Colombian payments because I work for a Colombian company as an English language teacher online and all. They're asking us to, let's say, declare our income, but we don't have to pay taxes in the U.S. I didn't know that, so I said, okay, next time I'm around in the U.S., I'll try to get around to that one.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Eddie will become monetized pretty soon by the end of the year. I'm sure you're very close to getting almost 1,000 subscribers. So. Yeah,
but I won't be making big bucks like, Press Your Luck back in the 80s, that TV game show with the whammies, Press Your Luck, boom. No, it's going to be a while before it makes a lot of money, but it's good to have this information. And Brian, since you're still in Medellin if you want the local experience in terms of the nightlife and not so much of the Laureles stuff and Poblado, Parque Lleras, and whatever Provenza, if you want the local life experience and it's pretty cool and mellow, you can go to La Villa de Aburrá. Do you know where it is on La Ochenta?
Yeah, I have a friend that lives by the Molinas Mall, and
Okay.
it's not too far from there. We go down there. There's a plaza there where we drink
Yeah,
on the
that's the one.
weekends, and it's a huge plaza, and it's U-shaped, and there's
Yeah, yeah.
businesses all around the outside, and in the middle is just concrete, and people come down there and they just sit in their little groups down the concrete and drink beer. There's two liquor stores there. One's called 7-Eleven, and the other's called
Yeah.
11-11.
Yeah, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been there,
Yeah.
and it is a very local place. It's a nice place to relax. My friend has a dog, and he'll take his dog down there, and there's other dogs running around, and you can just sit and have beers, and people will talk to you. Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
area.
people are pretty cool. And you sit on the floor. You sit on the
Yeah,
ground on a little
yeah.
elevated little ledge there, or just on the ground. You see a bunch of people just hanging out and sitting there. What about Carlos R. Restrepo? Have you been there?
I have not.
That's another one. And they got like this world famous pizzeria there, or at least Medellin famous, that was started by a German called Bigotes, mustaches. And it's Carlos E for Edwin or for Eddie, Restrepo. And go there. It's right off Columbia Avenue, right before you cross over the river. On the left side, if you're going from the stadium, Atanasio Girardot, down Columbia Street, on the left side, and you go in there, and it's like these little bars and restaurants, and that place is called Bigotes. They sell very good pizza. I ate there once.
Okay.
Very good stuff.
I'll probably try to get that information from you later because I'm using my phone. I don't have anything to put it down on, and my memory is not good enough.
Don't worry, man. When I subscribe to your channel and everything, you'll see me there, and you can hit me up and ask me again. And that's another place for the local experience. What about Sabaneta? Have you been in Sabaneta?
Yeah, I went to Sabaneta a week or two ago during the day. I haven't been there at night, but it was really chill. It was like a Saturday afternoon, Friday afternoon. I don't remember, but it was a nice place. I've heard it's a good place to go in the evenings also, but I haven't done that
Yeah.
yet.
And there's a fonda that's 100 years old. A fonda, a roadhouse bar, right
Okay.
there in the park on the corner.
Yeah.
It's all lit up like a Christmas tree. And it says since 19 something, it's 100 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's good. And another place you can go to if you like, Envigado. Have you been to the nightlife areas in Envigado or the restaurant
Not yet.
areas?
No, I know about it, but I haven't been. That's on my list to go to.
Go there. Just hit me up and I'll tell you all the stuff about that. Kev, man,
Okay.
when are you going to go to Medellin, Kev?
I don't know. One of these days, I gotta go there before Brian leaves. You know.
When is Brian leaving?
I don't know. I'm going to be traveling until the end of December. Where, I don't know. I'm here for another month for sure.
Yeah, I gotta make it down to Mexico City though too. Again, extraño mucho Mexico. Right, Brian?
Mexico is good.
Yeah, yeah. And I would love to go back to spend more time in Mexico. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but I do miss it. And I haven't been to Mexico City. I've driven around it a lot, but I haven't spent time in Mexico City in about 10 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and in that 10 years, I've driven around it probably 5 or 6 times. I just haven't ever gone in and stopped.
Yeah,
There's a
Mexico-
lot to do.
Yeah. Hey, Eddie, are you glad that you went to Mexico City?
I'm super glad, man, but I've burnt, how would I say, I've done most of the things on my bucket list here in terms of things I discovered, and I have only like 2 things left to do because I already did Cuiculco today. Cuiculco, the archaeological site. There are so many archaeological places here and small pyramids in Mexico City. You will be amazed, gentlemen, both of you. So I have 2 things left. Next week is Independence Day, Mexican Independence Day. So it begins on the 15th, even though it's the 16th, 10 p.m. On Wednesday night. The president will come out of his whatever cave and scream out "Viva Mexico" and "Viva Ren and Stimpy," "Viva Beavis and Butthead," and everybody else in between.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best things to watch in the Zocalo is the Grito de Mexico, right? When
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna do
president
that.
comes out and says "Viva Mexico, cabrones." No, I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna say that one, but I'll say it for him.
Yeah, really. No, he's not gonna say that. Yeah, but that's a bad word to say. You don't really want to. You don't want to call anyone that, though. Hey, that's good. That I don't think anyone's called you anything derogatory, have they, Eddie?
Who, me?
Yeah, they haven't said any derogatory things to you, have they?
No, nothing. I
That's
have never had any run-ins with any Mexicans
yeah.
or people here. I mean, people have been pretty cool, man. Pretty cool in general. I went into Tepito twice already.
Oh, you did? Well, but you didn't film there. That's a different thing, right? You didn't film, right? Uh-oh, we lost your sound. No sound. What happened to Eddie's sound? Oh no.
Okay,
Okay.
maybe I pressed the button. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What happened? So you did film there?
Yeah, I did it on the DL, on the down low. I was using, you can't use a gimbal or anything like that, like Rosie was using that periscope thing. Hell no. This is not a submarine video game. I
Nope.
just had my phone out,
Yeah.
like if I were just talking,
Yeah.
like most people are just talking, like in a vertical format. And then I
Yeah.
would just raise it up for a second, like 5 or 7 seconds, talk in English, and pause it again and put and bring it down. And I was really in the labyrinths, in the mazes. That place is a maze. It's a labyrinth, and
It
there's
is.
so much going on. So you will see, I could detect all the thugs that are the private security that you would never know that they're there, and they're
Yeah.
watching out for people who are taking pictures or doing videos.
They are. Yeah, they are. It's a pretty interesting network of, I guess, yeah, security was what they call them. I don't know what you call those people, but yeah, they're watching because a lot of that stuff is illegal stuff, like knockoff stuff. So
Yeah,
they have.
but did you guys actually go into it? Not on the street. This was
No, we went
off the
into it.
main app.
Yeah, we went right into it because there's like that outside street where you can walk outside, and there's like another side of the market. But no, I walked right into the market, and I was asking people, but I think they knew that I was holding my GoPro like this, so they were a little bit hesitant in talking to me. But a couple of people said you can't film, but they didn't really, It's just that when Rosie stuck out her selfie stick and she took it up and pulled it up in the air, that's when that like threw a lot of red flags, and they're like, "Oh my god." They just like came in. And I was talking to some guy afterwards. I kind of walked out, and there was a guy that was like delivering water, and he was like, "Oh, that's a little camera." I'm like, "Yeah," and I was showing it to him, and they didn't. No one even came up to me, but it's just that I went up to Rosie because she was being talked to, approached by these guys, and I had to kind of like get her out of that situation.
Yeah,
I
because
get a
the
lot of
place I was in.
curiosity.
What?
I
Brian?
said I get a lot of curiosity about my camera here.
Yeah, what camera you have? Do you have it with you right now? The
Yeah, I do. It's right
DJI?
here. Let's see.
That's his camera. It's the DJI Osmo.
Oh, the handheld one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
Wow.
looks like almost like a recorder. But
Yeah, people see it and they just want to know what it is. But I'm always nervous because I don't know what their intentions are,
Can I see it? Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But this one luckily has a wrist strap. I keep it strapped on my wrist and I'll show it to them, but I don't unstrap it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, I know that was good advice that you mentioned, Eddie, though. You said that like when you're walking near the Palacio Nacional, the president's palace, you cannot film there because
No, behind it.
behind
the Palacio Nacional.
That's a government building. Yeah.
But they don't care so much, the government people there, but when you're behind it, not at Zocalo part, but behind it,
Yeah.
and everything, going on Calle de la Moneda,
Yeah.
it starts getting shady around there. It starts getting really dodgy. And they have a lot of the informal security people that they have no uniforms, nothing, but you see them with a little small walkie-talkie, little communications radio, two-way communicator, and they're always communicating with each other, and they're looking out for the cops or for people who are with cameras, and really, they're really itchy, scratchy about it. So I remember that I saw when I was doing with the gimbal. One guy came up from behind me on a motorcycle, and I got 10 police officers on 2 pickup trucks, fully armed and fully armored, body armor and machine guns. And this guy we were like 15 meters away, and he didn't care. He came up from behind me on a motorcycle with no helmet on, and he's like, no video, no video. He speaks no English, but he just says in Spanish because it's the same thing in English. No video, no video.
Yeah.
And when I heard him, I turned around, and he said no video again, and I saw his face. I'm like, okay, one of the thugs. And then I pretended that I was turning it off, and I just pressed pause because I had the gimbal with the smartphone on it, and I showed him, hey, look, no problem. And then I just lowered the gimbal to like pointing towards the floor with the cam. Then he let me. He let me go. I just continued walking. I was going to stay there and talk off the beef jerky boy there, and that's it. I didn't even talk to him. I just like, okay. I just acknowledged and walked my way. And then when I left there and went back up towards El Zócalo, I started recording again.
Yeah. Well, you were out of that area, so it was okay. Yeah, they definitely watch their people. There's a lot of
well, I got a lot of story yesterday and today about these places, and all the mafia, all the underworld dealings are in Tepito. Everything. That's why you don't want to go there and get them and ruffle their feathers, because then they'll just pluck your feathers.
Yeah, that's true. I can't go down there and pretend I'm a big boss, huh?
No, man, you become pork chops. They'll chop you up, and me and everybody else that gets in their way if we get them angry.
Oh yeah, no, you'll have to experience that, Brian. You're gonna say, "Wow, this is crazy." Yeah,
but don't use a camera. Don't even use that little device you have. Just go in without any cameras and just have somebody with you, a friend or two, just so you don't go alone.
Hey guys, they have like cameras that are sunglasses, and the cameras right here, so you can probably use that. It's probably not.
I've heard some of those are good, but I've never seen one in person.
No, I haven't either. But they're like, I think they run for like anywhere from $69 to $100, $300. But I don't know. I don't think I don't know how well they work, but yeah. But you have to be careful. I know, especially in Colombia too. I think you have to be careful walking around the camera, right, Eddie?
Well, if you're in downtown, Brian, you better be careful. Do you know where Hotel Nutibara is?
I think so. That's where the buses go from the airport, right?
Exactly. That's where they land, right behind it. You don't want to be walking around along the metro line under it. That's a block over.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole shady area where they sell stolen things, drugs, and these guys don't like it. They got the pawn shops. And I walked through there with my camera, but I had my GoPro against my chest with the little handle. I remember when I did a video there early this year, I think it was, or late last year. I don't remember. And I remember I was just playing it off. And I was walking through the brothel street where the brothels are, but I wasn't walking on the sidewalk, but on the street and not pointing at them, not to attract the attention. It was early on in the day. It was only like 10 a.m. when I did that. But if they do catch you filming, somebody's bound to run up to you and say, "What the hell are you doing?" in Spanish.
I had one of them holler at me, tell me not to film, but I walk with it like this. So that's all that's sticking out when I walk is just the gimbal.
Okay.
Down by my side. So it's really hard to notice. And it has been, like I said, it is noticed occasionally. And only once down there, one of the girls hollered at me, don't film, don't film. I just kept walking, and nobody chased me down. So
you just gotta be careful, because in those areas where the brothels are, the transvestites, transgender brothels, there are all kinds of brothels around there or anywhere in the world, or where they're selling drugs. Somebody that doesn't give a rat's ass will come up and not just say don't film, but they might even punch you or knock you down and take it from you.
Right.
It's possible. Just that area, that particular little area of Medellin, right along the Bolivar metro station, from the hotel back towards the Prado metro station, and towards the other side, going towards the river from there. Those are the shady areas where people tell me, and I know because I lived there for 23 years, don't go giving papaya. No de papaya.
Yeah, I walked under the tracks from Parque Berlin to San Antonio. I've never walked to Prado. past. So Parque Berlin is about as far as I go under the tracks.
Yeah, but from Hotel Notivara right there, across the street from the museum and everything in Plaza de Botero, from that part right there, all the way to the Prado metro station, it can be dangerous for some people in case you hit the wrong person in terms of not liking your camera out if they notice it
Right.
and all
Yeah.
that. And that's just the only thing that I would say to people in general. Some people were complaining to me, "Oh, you're over exaggerating. That's not a dangerous area. I've walked there through many times." Like, congratulations, good for you. Me too. But I'm telling foreigners that don't know and might be committing a mistake, so they don't get all scared up. Be careful at your own
Yeah.
risk.
And Joe Nagel Gamer says you have the right to film, but it's important to respect their wishes. I film, but if somebody tells me they don't like it, I won't use that part of the film. I won't put them in my video. But yeah, I film and I don't ask first. Some people say you should ask. No, if you ask,
Oh,
it
hell
ruins
no.
your video because then you've got a stage response. You can't ask first. You have to film. And then if they say no, I don't use it. And if
Yeah.
I have any meaningful interaction, I always ask them, is this okay if I put it on my YouTube channel? But I ask them after because if you do it before, it ruins the video.
Yeah, that's true. I don't do that either. But I do ask after if they want to come on the video because this is going on YouTube. Do you want it there? Yeah. I've only had twice people say no. And then I had
Right.
to like edit that part out.
Which is no big deal. I'm cutting half of it out anyway, more than half. You know.
I don't edit Jack Diddley anymore. I just pause and shoot because I don't even use it's just tiring for me. Yeah, just like unedited.
Oh, I'll
That's
take
as
an
far as
hour
I
and
go.
15 minutes and turn it into 6 minutes.
Really? Wow. You really
Yes.
chop it up.
It takes me a long time. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
what I do.
I try not to do that much editing, but I know a lot. You know what's kind of weird is I know a lot of the travel vloggers, they don't even use like background music at all, or they don't even really like. Have you ever watched Kurt Kaz? That guy doesn't like do anything
I have.
editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his channel really blew up. He's more popular than William Todden, which is the Swedish dude.
You
But
know, and those guys are great, and I tried that, but I get more views if I edit.
yeah,
If you know, and so right now I'm still a small channel. I want views, I want subscribers. I'll edit it and hope that works. You know.
yeah, you can't be like Rami travel and just walk around and just film. Like he was over in Barcelona filming the beach, and I was like, how does this guy get away with just walking around with his camera? And girls like they know he's filming, but they're not going to say anything, But he
Yeah.
doesn't talk or anything. But it's just all of his videos are all about showing women in wherever place he's traveling to.
Right. Yeah, I watch him or have watched him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting content. It's one of those kind of videos that you want to just watch in the background while you're doing something else. But as far as like yours or Eddie's, man, you guys are more interesting to watch because you have better content. You're more interesting to listen to.
The walking videos generally where they're not saying anything, they're just walking around. That generally bores me, so I try not to do too much of it myself.
Yeah, you want to kind of draw the viewer in and let them know. Like Eddie does a really good job at where am I at? What am I walking to? What am I seeing? Because they don't understand or they've never been there, so you have to kind of describe it to them, kind of let them touch it, feel it, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. I know you guys are going to be superstars, man.
I don't know about that.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see.
you.
I'm kind of flattened right now. I gotta go out and do some more content. I'm trying to figure out some content that I want to do. But it was nice having you guys on, man. You guys are awesome. It would be super awesome if we were all meet together in one of the places, whether it's Medellin or Mexico City or wherever,
Yeah,
to
that'd
have
be
like
great.
a travel, little vlogger conference, and that we can meet each other in purpose, I mean, in person, and we're there to help each other out,
Right.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. If anybody hasn't subscribed to Kev's channel yet and you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe to KevTV's channel and also Brian, Beyond Brian.
Yeah, Beyond Brian and Traveling Eddie. He's going places. Beyond Brian, he's in Medellin, and here I am in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Eddie, I have
Hey.
subscribed to you. Kev told me about you, I guess, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And Brian, if you're still in Colombia, you said towards the tail end of December, I recommend you experience Christmas in Medellin because of the lights, the
I
Christmas
did
lights that
last
they
year.
put up. Oh, you
Yeah,
did
I
it?
was here
Also,
last.
I said nothing.
Yeah, I was here for that last year. It's amazing.
But last year was a bore. It was the most boring one of all. It was like the least cool, but it was still good for people who have never seen it. But I think this year is going to be a whole lot better again because now, things are kind of like behind us in a sense.
Right.
But yeah, you keep traveling, enjoying Colombia. Just make sure when you get your motorbike that you always have your eyes all over peeled. Be careful with holes on the floor. Some highways, some roadways in some cities are really bad, speed bumps and all. So you really got
Right.
to know how to. And remember, people in Colombia, as you already know, don't really use lane change signals or turn signals,
Right.
and they don't respect stop signs and traffic lights have sometimes they don't respect them. So you always got to be careful when you're going through cities on your motorbike. Stay safe.
Yeah, and just like Julian here says, just respect each other, have mutual respect. We're all humans. That's what
For sure.
June Gamer is located in Sweden too. So we have someone from Europe watching this right now, which is awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
What's
June
up to Europe? Big ups to Europe. Hola, Europa.
Europa, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end this stream, but it was nice having both of you guys. You guys are awesome. Check out
Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Kev.
our
Thank you,
channel.
Brian.
We'll have to do this
Thank
again.
you.
Everybody in the chat.
All right, everyone. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys.